Okay.
Hey everyone!
We are back.
We are back with an actual topic this time.
Yes.
Episode 2
Two.
of the Unrelaxed podcast.
Mm-hmm.
As always, I'm your host, Christine Leonidakis.
And I'm your host, Amanda Ellenson.
Yes!
Woo!
Today's topic is going to be really good. It was written in anonymously by one of our followers, and it basically was asking us to chat about how men and women have different gender roles, but women are expected to be girl bosses in today's society, but then we also have to contribute the same financially as men while also having a million other responsibilities on top of just needing to work
Exactly.
9 to 5.
Yeah.
So we're going to be chatting about that today, but first and foremost, how was your weekend?
Yes. So I had my bridesmaid proposal dinner yesterday at, I think it's called Mansion Kitchen and Bar. I don't know if it's Maison or Mansion, but it was, I've never been there before. It was so nice. We're going to pop up some pics of my little setup yesterday.
Right here, right there.
Right here, however.
Somewhere.
No, but it turned out so good, and I want to thank Emma, Brittany, Sarah, Chelsea, Kathy, Irma, and Jill for helping me set up and coming out and making the night amazing.
It looked so
It was
nice.
cute.
The photos were unreal.
It turned out so cute. We put some balloons in the air at the end. Might have offended some people because somebody said we killed cows by doing that. So
there's a lot of things you don't know that you're not supposed to do.
We're getting judged for everything. Just live your
nowadays it's no matter what you do, someone's gonna judge you, and it's okay, now you know for next time putting balloons in the air is really bad for the environment. But you didn't know that at the time.
I know.
So don't be mean saying you killed cows.
I know.
The poor moose.
I think it's going so high. It's probably disintegrated up there.
You would think that it would just pop in the air eventually, but then I guess the plastic would fall from the sky and land on the ground somewhere. But why cows specifically?
I don't know. People just somebody has to always say something.
It doesn't make any sense. So are you hungover? Is that why?
Yeah, I'm hungover. Glasses are on for me. I didn't do my hair. Christine looks beautiful with her hair. My hair is
looks great.
A disaster. And I'm drinking coffee time. Who goes to coffee time?
I thought it was 50, no, 60 plus.
I know.
Goes to coffee
It's
time.
good.
Your nails are cute.
Yeah, the nails. Yeah, I just got them done.
Oh, they look
Let me show. People were like, "You're too far away, but can you see my nails?"
Do you want to do a plug? Where you get them done?
I get them done at Kittle Claws. She's really good. She's in Whitby. I don't think she's taking clients right now
because she's that good.
Yeah, she's really good.
Maybe she'll take me on because
I
second episode, do not have my nails done.
You know what? I had 3 off, so I was like, I have to get them done because I couldn't pull the rest off because they're the acrylic, and I was waiting for work, and then just got back a couple days ago. So
fun.
You know when you go away and you feel I'm not even. It's I'm not even allowed to say I feel fat because I know I'm not, but I get judged if I say. Sometimes I have days where I feel just heavier from the drinking, the food. I just feel not my normal self.
You're allowed to feel that.
You're allowed to.
It's so frustrating. It's no matter what your body type is, whether you're very thin, whether you're, a little bit larger, you've got a little extra weight, if you're comfortable in your own skin, great. No matter what size you are, good for you.
If you feel off.
If you feel off, if you're having a day, me, I'm I have a C-section scar and I've got I'm fit, okay? I know I'm fit. I work out a lot, okay? So I can't say I'm fat.
Yeah. You're allowed to feel it.
But I'm allowed to feel it sometimes. And I have what they call a shelf over top of my C-section incision where it's a hard scar tissue buildup.
Yeah.
So it's everything is nice here, but then there is a little pooch over top. So I feel postpartum, my body isn't what I'm used to. So I feel uncomfortable in certain clothes, and some days I feel I look larger than I'm used to.
And
people get so offended by that.
Trust
me. You should be grateful
you're
for that
so
body.
Tiny.
You're tiny. Your body gave you a baby. I know my body gave me a baby, and I'm very happy that my body gave me a baby, but I'm not happy for what that baby and that experience ended up doing for my self-esteem.
Exactly.
I have good days and I have bad days.
You're allowed to feel that.
And you're allowed to feel that.
Yeah.
Amanda texted me a picture of herself or a video with a heating pad on, and she was just
the worst cramps.
Worst cramps. She was just feeling
off. And I was telling Christine, I know I'm skinny. I go to the gym too, but my stomach, when I'm bloated on my period, it was literally a marshmallow. I look like a fluffy marshmallow, but then it just goes back off a week later. But I'm I feel so gross right now, and you're allowed to feel that. No matter what you look like, you have feelings.
Exactly. So Amanda's hungover.
Yeah.
I am not hungover. I've just decided to join in with her and wear sunglasses so that we can be, equals on the same level.
Yeah.
But Yeah, I had a pretty tame weekend. I'm actually going to Las Vegas for a bachelor party, but it's like a joint
Oh, that's
girls and boys are included.
Is Alex going?
No, he's working. So
okay.
Hubby's staying back and working. But
is that Nick?
No, my friend, my other friend Arjun.
Oh yes.
Yeah, so we've got like 10 people going to Vegas. So I told myself that I was not going to do any drinking of any sort until I leave.
Oh, I thought you meant in Vegas. You're not going to drink. I was like, are you?
Yeah, no.
That's good. That's good.
Yes, but then I broke that rule.
Well,
last night I had 2 girlfriends over and we ordered Indian food and it was lovely.
Yeah, that's good.
But then we had a nice bottle of wine. But,
Yeah, you have to have.
I'm not hungover.
I feel like a bottle of wine is never like you don't really drink. Red wine's actually good for you.
It's good for your
right.
Your gut.
Some
I don't
amounts.
I ain't no doctor.
I know.
I'm no doctor. I don't know, but
you know what? Joint though, that would be so fun. I always think it's fun with girls and guys.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Like I'm
really excited.
That's nice.
Anywho, let's get into the topic. Okay, I love this topic because I could go on and on and on. So feel free to cut me off when I ramble too much.
Nope.
But I feel like this topic is so good because I have this conversation with so many people on like friends talk about it. I hear like family members talk about it. I see videos on like TikTok and Instagram of both men and women feeling frustrated by like what we expect of like the traditional gender norms and relationships not being that anymore. And that is frustrating people, and people are a little bit afraid to talk about it because when you talk about gender specifics and gender stereotypes, people can get a little bit iffy about that because people have different experiences. But what we're talking about today is like the traditional, when you think of like a masculine energy and a feminine energy, like we're talking about traditional, like what history kind of had. So when you think about men, they were like the expectation of a man in a relationship, they were supposed to be the hunter-gatherer
providers
and the providers, right? And women were expected to be the nurturers and take care of the family.
Caregivers, basically.
Caregivers. And it's frustrating for so many people nowadays because men are working and doing their job in society, contributing financially, working 9 to 5 or whatever it is. And in the past, it used to be like our parents or our parents' parents used to be able to afford to have the woman stay home and care for the child, right? And you can function off a singular income and own a home. But now you can't do that. So women are expected to go to work and contribute 50% financially to the households and work the same amount as a man.
And do everything else. I know, it's tough.
It's so tough. And like daycares. So like I don't have my daughter in daycare yet, but like if you put your kid in daycare, like what are the hours?
It's honestly, never mind the hours too, it's like a couple $1,000s a month.
Yes.
On top of your mortgage. And I had Scarlett in, they called it like a play school in Brooklyn, and it was only 2 hours out of the day. So I had to leave work, come back and get her. They do like a 9 to 5 in most places. Like they won't watch the kids past your work hours.
That's what I mean. Like it's not set up for women in today's society. And like a lot of my friends, they talk about how their daycare ends at like 3. And I'm like, what are you just telling your work? Hey, I need to leave work at 3 to go pick up my child, but then I also need to log back in later.
You do.
Or you have to pay extra to have them stay until 5.
Yeah.
That's not fair, right? And most of the time it's gonna be the woman that has to pick up the kid from work. Yeah. I'm sure there is obviously the times when the man is able to leave work and pick up the child. But then they're calling it the second shift, where the woman then has to come home and she has to do all of the, again, traditional female roles, which is the cooking, the cleaning, bathing the child, like, or kids, whatever, taking care of the household, making sure like the scheduling, like, Amanda, I can't even imagine like your kids in dance or ballet.
Yeah, ballet, gymnastics. That's the thing with work. I'm like, and with my new job, like I have an hour lunch, great, but I can't really just take it when I want to just go pick up my kid or do this. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Like, Chris works, he's home at 7 and he works like an hour and a half away. Yeah. So it's just like, how am I supposed to take Scarlett to soccer, gymnastics, and ballet?
Yeah, it's like not set up.
Not at all.
At all.
It sucks. And then like I have a lot of friends, stay-at-home moms, which that is a job. And then like they're frustrated because their husband's coming from work, which we get, they're tired, but then they are not helping with the kids. Yeah. So she worked all day with the kids and still is doing that. And like, I get it. Like, you're the mom, you're staying at home. Like, he's providing, he's paying the bills, but it is nice if the husband like can help it a little bit. It doesn't have to be a crazy amount, but like, take
some interest in your kid.
Yeah, it's hard. It's a hard line because you're not working, he's bringing the money, but it just can't be. Oh, I'm bringing the money, I'm not going to do anything.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that. Okay, if he wants to sleep in on the weekend for like an hour, okay, but like talk about it. Be like, sleep in for an hour, not all afternoon, and then just help me a little bit with the kids, make breakfast, sit, relax a bit, then help me again. Like,
exactly.
It's a hard thing.
And then where it makes it so much harder is the women who have to go back to work because the household can't afford to have just one income. Like, not everyone is fortunate enough to just have either the man work or the woman work, and then one stays home. Most of the time now, with how the world is set up, is both parents have to work
because they can't afford
anything. But then typically, like, the frustrations that I'm hearing, and again, I don't want to like make it out like mine and Amanda's partners don't help with children. No. My husband, thankfully, is very involved, like hands-on with our daughter, but not everyone is fortunate to have that, where the man still has this masculine energy and expects the woman to do all of these things, and he's not willing to contribute. And the woman has to work, and she pays 50% of the bills, and the man is paying 50% of the bills, but then the woman has to come home from work and has to do all of these other things. And it's like, how is that fair?
It's tough.
It's such an unfair dynamic. Like, I feel like if the woman is staying home from work, like, that is her job, basically.
It is.
He's paying financially for everything, but the woman's still working, and that's her job, is to do all of these other things.
But then not all night after both parents are home.
But not after, like, she's already worked basically a whole night shift plus the whole day while the husband's been away at work, and then she has to do everything else. And like, it's so frustrating. I hear like a lot of people get really irritated because they're like, their partners don't even know if there's enough clothes. Like, think if you've got a baby, like, most men aren't thinking, oh, do we have enough, like, age 3 to 6 months,
no,
6 to 9 months, and then rotating out the clothes.
They do not think they do not think that. Even like folding like the clothes into the drawers, like, you know, you organize it by sometimes how old they are, and then even putting summer clothes away, bringing winter clothes out.
It's
making
so
the bed.
Much work.
Yeah, like, they're not going to remember that. And again, too, I'm not saying, like, Chris helps a lot, even with my daughter, not his daughter. And my daughter's dad he helps a lot too. Like, we have her 50-50.
Yeah.
But the times, like, when I have her, you know, and then you're expecting the help, and it's just. It's like, we're lost for words sometimes because it's such a touchy subject, and it's like.
Because we don't want to make it out like every relationship is like this, but obviously the person who submitted this anonymously is frustrated by the dynamic of having to do like a 9-to-5 job and then have to come home and do a second shift, and their partner gets to sit on the sofa and watch TV and relax after their long day. But it's like, your wife or your significant other or common law, whatever you are, has just worked a 9-to-5 too. And now they're coming home and working until, you know, the kids go to bed at 10.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Or like even things like the diapers. Like, do you even know what diaper size your kid is in? And do you have enough diapers to last them until the end of the week? It's like, women are the ones that are having to think about all these things.
That's why we're so unrelaxed, because our minds are always thinking about all the little things.
Exactly.
And that's where we pick up the slack on there. Like, not saying that men don't do that. Mostly they don't.
Yes.
Like, my mom even says, oh, your dad didn't think about that. Your dad didn't think about that. Like,
and that's expected of, it's just men and women's brains do work differently. And like, again, I don't want to stereotype everyone, because a lot of women can do these things and a lot of men can do these things. But men are typically the ones to make sure that oil changes are done in the car, that the tires are rotated out from winter to summer. So like, there are things that men are doing to contribute outside of just a standard 9-to-5 job. But like, those things are typically like sporadic. They're few far in between, whereas the woman's brain isn't shutting off at all, because it's a million things. The doctor's appointments. Like there's so much. I don't know how people have like more than even one kid. I only have one, but the thought of like 2 and 3 and 4 and scheduling for all of that, I would be so unrelaxed.
Even like doing the birth certificate when their child's born, like doing all the stuff on the computer. Like, I even for school, like I signed Scarlett up for school. Yeah. You know, did all the little stuff. I'm like, okay, he's probably gonna forget to do that, so I'll do this.
Yeah.
And it's
getting them registered
It's
for
exhausting.
daycares or
Yes,
finding
yes.
a daycare.
But guys can somehow plan a golf trip. Like, I watch my dad, oh man, should I wear this? Yeah, what should I wear? Oh, I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, it's so funny watching guys and girls post videos like my husband on a date night versus my husband golf trip. Every little detail's planned out, every outfit's laid out. I'm like, can you just be like that all the time?
All the time, like with the kids and with me and life. And
no, it's funny. We're like, and these days, and I've been on dates, like obviously before Chris, with men who they don't want to provide, and they're acting like we should be paying. I've had to split a bill with somebody on a date. I'm like,
oh, I
are
know.
you kidding?
I know. And the most frustrating thing is like the jokes that you hear that are like, well, you women fought for your rights to be equal. And I'm like, yes, we did. And that's fantastic. We wanted to be equal at work and make the same amount of money for the same equivalent amount of work. Yeah. But like, we didn't think it meant like that we had to still do a million other womanly things. No. Well, you got to just continue doing
we're
nothing.
We're never going to be like, we're never going to be equal. Men are different, women are different. Yeah. And if we were all the same, the world wouldn't even be working.
No, it wouldn't work
like
at all.
Men will pick up some slack from that we don't do, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So it's just that whole, I'm not a big feminist, like, you know what I mean? Like, of course I want to make equal money and all that stuff, but in the end of the day, like, men provide, and I would love to stay at home and just take care of my kid if I didn't have to work and contribute, because everything's so expensive.
Yeah, I would love to be a stay-at-home
Please,
mom,
can I go back to 1960?
Yeah, I don't want
Who voted for us?
I don't want to be a girl boss.
No,
but like good for the women that do want to be a girl boss and like make more money than their partner. Exactly. I think that's amazing. But not everyone has the motivation or dedication to do that. And I think there's so much pressure, like what this person wrote in is like, there's pressure in society to push women to be such girl bosses. And like, you need to make more money than men and like do this and work like nonstop. Don't shut your eyes. Like, you want to be so successful, but it's also like, okay, but you can do that. But then there's so many other things that, especially if you bring children in the world, that the expectation of your role in a relationship is still
and you're gonna run yourself you're gonna run yourself dry. You have no time for your kids. Even like with the new job I have, I'm like, I'm gonna be missing Scarlett all her. So I took one day off next week to see her soccer game, because when my schedule comes, I'm working like a later shift and I can't. It's from home, but I can't go to a soccer game. I'm like, it sucks. And I'm like, I feel so sad, and I'm stressed out almost all the time thinking about missing things with her. And I'm like, because I have her half the time already, and then it's like cut more in half because I'm working. So
it's not fair to the kids either.
It's not. And I'm working from home. I haven't like officially started the shift yet. I've been training, so I don't know how it's gonna be, and I'm hoping it's gonna be okay with her home. I can give her some attention while I'm working, but like, it sucks.
It does.
And then if I have to go to the office, I'm like. Anyway, and then
she's gonna get ready for work, which obviously tacks on extra time away from your child. You know?
And then she's off school in the summer too. So then, what am I gonna do with her? I'm like reaching out to her grandfather. Not my dad though.
Okay.
How do I say that? My ex-father.
Your ex-father.
Yeah, because he's not working, so he'll take her for me and help me out because my parents work full time. Yeah, which is like the only help like both of us really have. So
it's so hard.
And then when that help, like, if that help's not around, it's so hard. I don't know how parents do it who don't have help.
Oh, I know. And that was another topic that somebody wrote in.
We'll talk about that too, because that's
not having like a village around from like friends and family to help support in life. Like that's so hard.
Yeah, I know. I've heard, like, I've met somebody recently who has a daughter, doesn't have much help. The dad's out of her life, and it's just she doesn't have anybody. And I'm like,
but good for her for being able to do it. Like, it's hard enough with two people, let alone one. But it's funny you brought up like dating and having to split the first bill. I'm sorry, that is the most unattractive thing ever, because it's like women still expect men to be men and have their masculine energy and, you know, contribute financially and want to provide, be a provider. Like, we still have those natural instincts from history. And men also have the natural instincts of being attracted to women who are a little bit more like feminine and a little bit more like just submissive and recognize that the man provides X, Y, and Z and the woman provides X, Y, and Z, and they work together because they have different things that they provide in the relationship. But if I go on a date, and I'm married now, but I've been on dates where the man has literally been like, the bill comes and it's awkward.
Yeah.
Like,
and it shouldn't be awkward because you should just know that they're paying.
I immediately am like, okay, like I'll down the road, like after a few dates,
we'll
absolutely
split.
we'll split, or I'll plan a date. Like I make money too, so yeah, I should contribute.
Yeah.
But like on the first date, I'm expecting you to be a man and pay for me and show me that it's like, if you think about, okay, this is wild. I don't know if this is true, but I just saw it the other day and I'm kind of going a little bit off topic, but you think in other countries, men have to pay a dowry, which is like they pay a financial amount, or they give a sheep or a cow or a product or gold to the parents of the woman to show like that your daughter is worth this for me, and I'm willing to pay X, Y, and Z to like earn your daughter, basically.
Wow.
We don't do that obviously in Western
society.
Some
people don't even open the door for women anymore.
That's what I mean. And I'm like, these men in other countries, do I agree with having to pay for a woman? Absolutely not. Yeah. But there is some romance to that.
Yeah, there is.
And knowing that like somebody loves you so much, they value you so much, and that they're showing the parents that I value your daughter so much. I want to prove that I am the right man for her. I can provide for her and provide for a future family for her, that I'm willing to pay this amount. But anyways, I saw one the other day, I think it was yesterday or something, and in this one one tribe, the men have to cut off their arms. Yes, I don't know if this is real or not. I need to dig into it a little bit more. But the men have to cut off their arms, and that is the dowry to the parents, to say, I love your daughter so much, and I am worthy of her love. So these men.
How could you provide without your arms?
These men in this tribe, they're like
what the?
They don't cut them off fully. It's like here.
But your hands are gone.
Yes, that's how much they love these women. And then we are going on dates with men that won't even pay $30 for a damn dinner.
And that's funny you say 30, because this is a date I went on. This was like in 2017 or 18. And I remember going to State and Maine with this guy. I think we had 2 drinks and it was $25. He's like, how do you want to split this?
You're joking.
Have not talked to him, like never. I just didn't even talk to him at all. And I come home and I was living with my brother and my dad at the time. My brother's like, so what, he made you pay? He's like, are you fucking kidding me? He's like, oh, you're not going out. He's like, he was pissed. My brother's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, because it basically shows that this man is not going to be able to provide for you in the future. And I'm not saying that men who don't earn a good income aren't worthy of love.
Exactly.
Absolutely. I've dated people who didn't make a lot of money, but it's the thought that counts. There's dates that you can go on that don't require...
do a little picnic.
Yeah, do a little picnic or something cute.
Yeah.
Or like men that like you go on a date with. Like I've been on a lot of dates pre-husband, and some of them have been fantastic. Yeah. And there's a difference, like a clear-cut difference between the men and the boys that you wouldn't see a future with. Exactly. Because they just don't put in any effort. And like the worst one for me is when you go on a date with a guy, what do you want to do? Why don't you just tell me? Yeah, the amount of planning women have to do already is like mind-blowing. We're constantly having to schedule and plan and do a million things. I don't want to plan a damn date. You asked me on a date. You asked me what type of food I like. I'm going to tell you I like Japanese. You pick the nice Japanese restaurant.
You know what's funny about that? And I'm stuttering. So hungover I am. Oh my God, guys. Sorry. I was dating a guy like far away, not from town. He's like, okay, well, where do you want to go? I'm like, why don't you Google the places around me and pick one? Like, how hard is that?
Exactly.
And I've had some guys, like, I went on this date with this guy and he lived 2 hours away from me, and we went on 4, he came and picked me up, we went out, he drove me back off home. I was like, wow, this guy's amazing, like he really likes me, my age. We went on another date to a Leaf game. This guy's probably listening to this, he knows exactly what it is. And then dropped me off the next day, and then all of a sudden I just stopped hearing from him. I'm like, what was the, like, he was telling me, I want kids, I want this, he wanted everything that I wanted. Yeah. Went on 4 dates, he drove to me, went back, and then I'm like, this is so weird. Why are you being so... Yeah, and then he asked me like 3 months ago, oh, how's the dating life? What do you mean, how's the dating life? And like, I was with Chris, I ignored him. You're asking me how the dating life is going after we were, like, you just kind of ghosted after the 4th date?
I don't understand.
Like, why are you even asking me that?
No.
Isn't that weird? I was like,
so weird.
So I just ignored it. I was like, the dating life is as good as you made that.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, yeah, so I was just like, at that point, like, this was just over a year ago. I was like so fed up because I was
Yeah.
like, I met someone the same age as me. He's telling his parents about me saying
Wow.
that, and then that happens. I'm like,
Yeah,
Fuck.
like how does that make any
yeah.
sense?
So I was like giving up, and then some dates that
Yeah.
went on. I was like, I know this is gonna go nowhere, but I'm just gonna have
Yeah.
fun. And then
And then it
I don't have to
doesn't
worry
pan
about that anymore. And I hope I never have to worry about that ever
You-
again because it's getting worse.
out. Yeah. Oh, I know. I feel bad
Yeah.
right now for my single friends
Single.
because the pool out there is wild, and it's like the women are trying to be, I think, a little bit too masculine sometimes
Yes.
because of the pressure in today's society to be such a girl boss.
Yeah.
That they're like, I don't need a man. I can do everything on my own.
No.
I can just like live my life, and a man is going to come to me eventually. But in reality, like, I don't think a lot of men want the woman to earn more than them,
No,
or to
I
work
know.
harder than them, because men tend to be competitive.
Yeah.
Women are too, obviously. Again, I'm just talking about the
Yeah.
traditional, like, I don't want anyone coming at me here, like, this is just a traditional.
This is open topic.
This is an open topic. There's many different viewpoints, and this is just one side.
Exactly.
Like, men are wanting women to be a little bit more feminine and do more feminine things and possibly not earn as much as them. And I think that's where the challenge is right now in the dating world, is women are trying too hard to be girl bosses and make more than a man, and not focusing on like a future with a man, and not allowing the man to be a man and like want to take care of her. But then the men also aren't doing their job at like treating a woman right anymore.
Yeah.
It's like they are expecting the woman to do a million things, and they are not living up to their hunter-gatherer protector type
Exactly.
mentality.
I feel like we're losing our femininity. Is that a
Yes.
word? Is that the
Yeah.
word? I can never say
Yeah.
it right. Just because of this whole big feminist movement,
Yeah.
and, you know, this and this, and we got to provide too. And then men are like, okay, well, these women aren't women anymore, so
why am I
going to be a man?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's tough, and I wish I had more advice for the person who
wrote
in about
It's a
this.
tough
But
one.
all I can say is, you do you.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
You'll find that
you'll
man.
find the right person who's meant for you.
If I found it, like I tell everybody, if I found it, you will find it, because I went on like so many dates
I
for
know.
so long.
But you're so hot.
Ugh, that does.
It's true.
So like sometimes you know what? I'm like,
I know
sometimes
what
looks
peers-
doesn't even matter too, because I'm like
Yeah.
I get like I'm dressed up, I'm like I'm feeling good, and then
Yeah.
that's like I went out one time and guys don't approach women anymore.
I know.
And then some people are like, you look too intimidating. I'm like, well, I guess that could be it, but like it's just
I think men don't approach
They're scared
women
now.
anymore because they're scared. Because I can't remember what scenario it was, but this woman was offended at work, not my work, but was offended at work because, and she went to HR and claimed like harassment because this guy came up to her and complimented her, like one of her coworkers. Because she looked good.
Yeah.
Okay. Like she maybe was dressed nicely, or maybe he complimented her dress or something. And we used to be complimented, and I used to love it. I'd
Love
be like,
it.
Thank you, you made my day.
yeah.
But
Now-
she went to HR because she thought it was harassment. But guess what? The guy is unattractive. He's a weird looking dude.
Yeah.
Okay? So she was creeped out by it. But I can guarantee you, okay, this is just making an assumption.
Yeah.
This didn't actually happen after the fact. But I guarantee if that was a good looking coworker,
Yeah.
he complimented her, she'd be like, oh, I feel so good.
Oh,
Thank you so
thank
much.
you.
And she wouldn't have gone to HR. So it's like,
You know what? It does suck for men because like the society's gotten so bad.
yeah, they can't say
No.
anything, or like they're wanting to be so hands off.
Yeah.
But then, like for me, I enjoy going to Dominican Republic and Cuba because if you want a confidence boost,
Yeah, they
you
will
go there
yeah.
because they are complimenting your body. They are telling you how hot you look. Even on your worst day when you're feeling bloated or you're on your period and you're just like, I didn't want to wear a bikini today. They are complimenting you up the yin yang, and I don't look at it as like harassment. Maybe some people will or would, but I don't. I look at it as like, thank you. Like you made my day. You made me feel good.
Exactly.
It's no different than like us complimenting a man. Like I've complimented some friends, like male friends, being like, your outfit looks fire, or like you look really good tonight, or like great haircut, that looks fantastic. I'm not hitting on them by any means.
No.
I'm just acknowledging and making a friend feel good, letting them know like you're dressed really nicely today. You look sharp.
Exactly.
But it's not harassment.
No.
And like it shouldn't be a threat to their significant other for me making a simple comment telling them they look good that day, you know?
I have a friend at work that like I just met when we were in Montreal, and he's married and everything, and he's like, he compliments everybody. He's like, Amanda and like Krisha, like my other friend from work, you guys look fantastic. Like, oh my god, because we only ever saw each other on Zoom, but that's how it is. Like, he's not. It's just a compliment, and he tells everybody that. Like, he's like, buddy, I love your glasses. Like, and it's okay to compliment people. And you shouldn't.
But he has to be careful in today's society. He says it to the wrong person, and he could lose his job.
I know. It's funny. So this was a woman. When I came into the office, like the first day I had my hair done, all this stuff, and the next day I wasn't feeling so good, and I was wearing sweatpants, and she goes, Amanda, you looked like a Barbie yesterday. Why do you look like that today? I was like, I didn't take offense to that, because in her culture, just the way I don't think she has no filter, and she doesn't, and I'm like, I'm not feeling so good today, but thanks. I was like, and I wasn't even wearing, I was wearing cute tracksuit, like, you know, those, like ones that say Harvard or whatever. Didn't go to Harvard, obviously, but, and I was like, but some people will really take offense to that. So it's just, these days, like, it sucks. You have to watch everything you say. And that's why I've stopped caring. I'm like, I could say, like, the nicest thing and someone could take it a mean way. I know. Twist my words and make me look like an asshole. Mm-hmm. So, even today's podcast, people are going to be upset about us talking about, like, gender roles. Because gender roles has changed. And, like, I'm all for, you know, women being more masculine and men being more feminine. That's totally fine. I don't care of what you do or how you act or what your energy is, but what we're saying today is it's challenging when you're trying to start a relationship but the expectations are not balanced. Exactly. You know? Exactly. I know. It sucks. It sucks, but it's life. I'm glad I'm in a relationship and I'm married, and thankfully my husband contributes a lot. And I would just encourage whoever wrote in that when you do find someone who is willing to accept you the way you are and is willing to contribute, and like also having these conversations early on in a relationship. I think people nowadays are too afraid to have honest conversations. I say things right. Like when I met Chris, I was like, I want another kid. I'm like, I want this. If that's like a no for you, then let's not even go on a first date. Yeah, like what are your deal breakers? If those are your deal breakers and I have one of them, we probably shouldn't continue. Because then what's the point? Exactly. So I would just encourage whoever wrote in, like, be honest with whoever you're dating, like at this age especially, like what are you looking for? What are your expectations of a significant other? What do you see your future looking like from like a day-to-day perspective and running a household? And if they don't line up with what you're expecting, or you don't line up with what they're expecting, then like move on and go on to the next and find someone else to go on a date with, because they're eventually you're going to find someone where your morals, your values, and like what you want out of life it will align. Yeah, and you're not crazy for asking the questions. Like, you know how some girls are like, I don't want to think I'm crazy. It's so different now. You actually have to jump to that craziness, because we're not in high school where we can figure each other out. We don't have 10 years to figure each other out. We've got a year if even, because we're getting older, right? With me, like, I want a kid soon. Like, I'm going to be 36 in November. So it's like, okay, if you want kids, yes or no, and if not, that's my deal breaker. Exactly. Yeah, so you need to have deal breakers, even if anyone's listening and they're younger than in their 30s, they're in their 20s, or they're a teenager, like, don't be afraid to have conversations with people, because it's going to show your maturity, and someone's going to be attracted to that. Yeah, right? I know. Some you know, boys or girls will be like, oh my god, you're crazy. I don't want to hear about their loss. That's their loss. Move on. Like, you're eventually going to end up finding a person a heck of a lot sooner than most of us did, because we didn't have these conversations when we were younger. We never did. We just like, hence all the boyfriends I had. Yeah, exactly. We just like let men walk all over us and treat us like crap. We let ourselves pay for first dates, and now if I was single and a guy tried to do that, I'd be like, great to meet you, good luck with your life, and I would just walk away. It's funny, I always I'd pay and laugh and be like, I guess you're expecting a woman to be a girl boss. Here, I'm a girl boss. Yeah, and I've offered to pay in hopes that they're gonna say no, obviously. And even now, like with Chris, he's like, you're not paying. He's like, no. He like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, no. Like, he's like, I feel weird. Like, I tried so hard even to pay. I forget. I think it was his birthday dinner, and I was really sick. I had this crazy sinus infection. Anyway, we went to Belinote, and I had my card out, and I'm like pushing it, like he just wouldn't let me pay for his birthday. I'm like, and I was like, no. So I transferred him after. Like, I'm like, I'm not doing that. But that's how he's like, I'm not doing that. He's the traditional man. Very traditional. We grew up
expecting.
Exactly.
You know,
he's
like,
an older soul. So.
Or you think like my dad, like I remember when I was dating someone in high school or university, my dad was so mad one day because he saw us, he was driving home from work and he saw me and my boyfriend at the time holding hands and we were walking on like the sidewalk. And after I finished like hanging out with my boyfriend, I went home and my dad was fuming and he's like, you can't date that boy anymore. And I'm like, why? I'm like, what happened? You weren't even with us. And he's like, I drove by and that boy had you walking on the side of the sidewalk that was closest to the cars.
Yes.
And he's like, no man is gonna date my daughter and have her closest to the traffic. A real man is gonna be on the other side.
Yes.
And the woman's gonna be further from the cars.
Yes.
And it was something I didn't even think about when I was young.
Now you do.
But it stuck with me where I'm like, now I'm gonna be telling my daughter that very early on.
I push Scarlett all the time. I'm like, okay, I take, even when I'm not, like, we were walking, she was against the street, I was like, oh shit. Like, pull her and
protector mentality, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like things like that we used to expect, like women expected, like chivalry, like
car door opening.
Like chivalry hasn't died. It's just it's been put down the list of priorities.
Exactly.
And I think making money and being a girl boss is
like I can open my own door. I'm fine. Like a lot of girls are like that too. I don't need a man to do this for me. I don't need it.
And I'm like, I like that. Like, I can open my own door too.
It's nice. It's just a nice.
But
it's something easy to do too.
Exactly.
It's an easy, nice little touch, and it's and that's what like so love languages. Like I'm not super into that stuff. I didn't even know about it until recently, but. My fiance is really into that kind of stuff.
It's amazing.
And he's very, what's that love language? He likes love affection. He's like, a hug and a kiss for him is like, I put my hand on him and his like whole face lit up. It was just little things like that where I'm like acts of service. Yeah. Which like he did the landscape. Jesus.
It is a lawn.
Yeah, it's a lawn, right? When I was away, he did the mulch and the shrubs for me and I was like, oh my God. But like I wasn't giving him enough of this affection. I'm like, I don't think about it all the time. Yeah. And like, it's just such a little thing that I can do. So when we had a big talk about it, like a big talk, he's like, oh, man, that's all I need. Yeah. He's like, and I'm the happiest man.
I love that.
And then some days I'm like, I get so mad and I'm like, okay, I'll just go give him a hug and that's the only, and it'll be better. The fight will be over. Yeah. So.
I would definitely encourage any of our listeners to read the book, The 5 Love Languages.
Okay, I want to read that.
I have it. If you want to
I'll borrow it.
So I made my husband, like before we got married, I made him read that. Like we literally sat and read, like it's very small, read a few pages each day together. And I'm telling you, it changed everything because we realized, so like I would buy my husband little gifts here and there, like something simple. I would come home with like a chocolate bar for him or like cook him a special dinner or like buy him a shirt that reminded me of something that I think he would like. And his reaction wasn't what I expected. Yes. And I would get so upset because I'd be like, I just like went out to the mall and
did this for you
and like expected more of something. Yeah. And then he would do things for me where I didn't give him the reaction he was expecting. And he's like, I don't understand why you're not happy with that. And then when we read the book, we realized we were giving each other the language that we were expecting, but it wasn't what they wanted. Yes. So for me, I never believe people's words. You could tell me you love me or you think I'm pretty a million times, but I don't believe it because in my past relationships, men would say things to me and they were broken promises, right? So I'm like, your words don't mean anything, it's action. So I need acts of service and gifts.
That's exactly me.
Doesn't need to be expensive at all.
No, it could be anything. Flowers.
He could come home with just like a couple candies just to brighten my day and I'm so happy. But I was giving him that. I was giving him acts of service, cleaning up the house and doing little things and buying him gifts. And he wasn't receiving it well. And then for him, he was giving me words of affirmation, telling me he loves me and I'm pretty and I'm this and that, and physical touch. But for me, that means nothing to me because it's just broke. It's just empty. Too. So then when we realized, okay, we need to flip and give each other what each other is expecting, it changed the whole dynamic of our relationship.
That is so, so true. Like I was doing that same thing with Chris, buying little gifts, and he's like, I'm like, I clean up, I did the laundry for you, I'm folding your kids' clothes, like, I'm like, what the hell, how am I not showing you that I love you by doing this? And it's not what it's
what you want.
Yeah, it's what I want, so I totally agree with that. And then there's another book, it's about showing you, someone just told me about it, I guess how you want to be, like talking about how you want to be loved and how to love somebody the way they want to be loved, and there's just so many things to read up on now, and I don't read a lot of books.
Neither do I.
I'm not a reader.
I'm
I
not
get
a reader
bored.
either.
But I will read that.
Yeah,
It's something interesting that's going to help me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really good. So encourage our listeners to read that.
Yeah.
And that does kind of come full circle. Like you can be a man and you can be a woman and read these books
Thank
and
you.
make changes and, you know, make life a little bit more easier in your relationships. And we're no relationship coaches by any means,
God, no.
but hopefully some women could relate to this podcast and some men can relate to this, where they feel like maybe their significant other isn't doing all of the things that the cooking, the cleaning, the taking care of the kids, doing all the things that most men are expecting of women. And the women are frustrated because they feel like the men aren't doing the things that they're expecting them to do. So hopefully some people can relate to this and realize they're not alone. And
Exactly.
all we can really say is have open and meaningful conversations with your significant other. If you've been together for a while, you should feel comfortable enough to be able to have honest conversations about any area of your relationship without being fearful of the relationship breaking. Because if the relationship broke over having an honest conversation with someone about your needs and your wants and your expectations, then you probably shouldn't be with that person.
Exactly. And it goes for friendships, family, the workplace. If you don't speak up, the answer is always going to be no.
Yeah.
Like communicate, you know, it's just, people are afraid. I'm still afraid to communicate because I'm afraid of what the answer is going to be, but it's, you're still going to be in that same spot, whether or a better spot, right? So, yeah.
Well, that is today's episode. Next week, we'll be chatting about friendships in your 30s.
Good topic.
I know a lot of people wrote in about this.
Yeah.
So we will be chatting about that. So stay tuned.
Thank you.
Stay unrelaxed.
Unrelaxed, crew.
All right.
Peace
Bye,
out.
everyone.